I started something called the Empathy Project at NYU Langone Health, where I'm a professor of medicine, and it's to make Hollywood-quality short films and to use them to teach medical students and clinicians in training to be more empathetic, sensitive, and competent, and then to empower patients to demand that. And I think, right? We've made the films, designed curricula, and are teaching empathy as a core skill throughout all of NYU Langone Health.
So everybody has always asked me, can we teach empathy? And I believe the answer is absolutely yes. With increased empathy training, not only do our patients have better outcomes, but our physicians have more wellness and teams work better.
When John asked me to be part of the Empathy Project, I remember saying to him, this is my destiny. I've had a lot of experience as a patient. I had a very fierce leukemia called AML. Patients are so vulnerable, and if we can make their experiences better, they'll get better more easily.
You have trouble going to sleep, or are you waking up early?
Both.
When I saw the first film, there were 50 teaching points that we could make. We could stop the video and make those points. The encounter starts the second the person walks into the room.
Scoring some Yankee tickets.
Can you stop right there?
Yeah.
Can you stop right there?
Fade out, fade in. It's now 10 years later, and our reach keeps growing.
Scene one, take one, Mark.
Unfortunately, I have some difficult news to tell you.
I think my eyes were just really open to how complicated those interactions really are. Those skills I'm still working on, and it will probably be a lifelong practice.
Here, please take my seat.
When John first came to me and said, we're going to make an animated film about implicit bias and patient-doctor communication skills and how empathy can be a tool to help in our patient care, I thought it was a little bit insane. What resulted was the most visionary and useful tool I've ever seen in medical education.
Using a small video where you see a Black woman's experience in the doctor's office was particularly interesting to me as a Black woman myself, and I thought this is a great way to teach it.
Gunderson.
Because I think once you understand the patient's perspective, you become a better doctor.
It isn't enough to listen. If you really want to empathize, you have to try and imagine how the world sees her and how she assumes the world sees her.
I think the fact that I came into medical school expecting to learn, all the sciences of medicine, and then the very first thing we learned was empathy. I think it represented a very positive shift in the way we think about medical training.
The first week of medical school was a total blur, but one of the things that I really remember was that NYU took the whole class to the Met, and that was where we had like an empathy boot camp. Each person had a different interpretation of the same painting, and we kind of talked about if that were a patient telling each one of us what was wrong with them, we all heard something different.
10 years ago, the Empathy Project started planning for the future, and now the future is here. The word empathy is now part of the national conversation.
I look nice.
And we have now culminated all that hard work with the Center for Empathy at NYU Grossman School of Medicine.
And one of the big things for the Center for Empathy in Medicine is going to be creating these ambassadors, these empathy fellows.
NYU believes in our work. So we're creating a fellowship where not only are we going to have the ability to create the material, teach the material, our fellows are going to go out and be empathy ambassadors throughout the entire institution and then nationally.
But no matter what hat I am wearing, I've come to understand that no credential in any field is as crucial to success as the ability to experience and practice empathy. Empathy is your superpower.
My vision for the center is to become the international leader in thinking about how you teach empathy, how you study empathy, and how you create a culture of empathy within our institution.
I want people to look over at NYU and say, oh yeah, that's the empathy place, right? And then not only just say, well, that's them, but well, we can do that too.
And I assure you that even though you got one of the best medical education, the best medical education in the world, and by the way, the price was right too, so remember that human being opposite you that's praying to God that you're going to help him or her live a better life. And remember the need for kindness and compassion and caring and empathy. Because frankly, if you don't have it, pardon me, for as good as an education you've gotten here, you will not be a great doctor.